Sports fans, there's no better place than the Sports Talk Media Network. We give your business exposure on over 20 radio affiliates across South Carolina, plus online at SportsTalkSC.com and on our growing social media platforms. That means radio, digital, and social, all working together for your brand. Our audience is loyal, engaged, and they trust what they hear from us. We partner with local businesses, regional brands, and anyone who wants to connect with real sports fans. From live reads and sponsorships to digital advertising, we'll build a custom campaign to fit your goals and budget. Ready to advertise with Sports Talk Media Network? Visit sportstalksc.com/sales-contact. That's sportstalksc.com/sales-contact. Sports Talk Media Network, advertising that reaches sports fans.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
Okay, let's give you tonight's recruiting report. It is brought to you by Seawell's. You know, it's the springtime, headed to the summertime. A lot of great events taking place for you, your family, your friends.
Graduation parties,
flunking out of college parties, all those kind of great things are taking place this time of the year. We suggest that you give Seawell's a call and let them work with you on your catering needs. No one else better to do it than Seawell's. Call them at 803-771-7385 or online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. And, of course, don't forget the Daily Luncheon Buffet back at it on Tuesday from 11 till 2. All right, South Carolina had one of the state's top recruits in on official visit over the weekend, defensive tackle Seth Tillman from South Point. Of course, South Carolina's done very well recruiting South Point and Rock Hill. He really liked the educational side of things that he saw. Got a chance to hang out with an old friend, Aiden Harris. Aiden Harris actually lived in Rock Hill when they were kids. So the two of them could end up playing side by side one day. They won him, Tillman, as a defensive tackle. He said they laid out the red carpet and showed him how much they really wanted him. So South Carolina did a good job there, as they did with all there. You never hear a recruit hardly ever say they have a bad time on an official visit unless they go and rob somebody or do something stupid. That does happen from time to time. Right now he's got it down to 4. South Carolina, Michigan, Clemson, and Georgia. Georgia, May 29th, Michigan, June 5th, Clemson, June 12th, and he has set July 11th for his commitment date. He said Georgia's planning to visit him on Tuesday, Michigan on Wednesday, and he's expecting Clemson this week. Travian Robertson might be in this week or next week. Clayton White has been in to see him, and Michigan defensive line coach Larry Black has also been in. The other official visits, cornerback B.J. Allen, defensive ends Desmond Malpris and Frederick Ards, linebacker A.J. Randall, offensive lineman Dewey Young, offensive tackle Stafford Willis, running back Braden Tyson, safety Kennedy Green, committed tight end Judah Lancaster, and committed quarterback Jerry Meyer III. South Carolina target cornerback Joshua Dobson, projected today by Steve Wiltfong to eventually commit to Texas A&M. Now, Wiltfong has the luxury, of course, of changing his predictions. He had earlier predicted him for LSU. Now he's predicting him for Texas A&M. I wish I could live that kind of life. He has official schedule with USC, Auburn, LSU, and A&M. He once played at Cadalba Ridge and is now at Huff in Cornelius, North Carolina. I will say that I've heard Texas A&M mentioned strongly with him throughout the process, even when it looked like South Carolina Clemson would have a decent shot. But from what I'm hearing, the Texas A&M situation out there is very strong with him at this time. So Wiltfong may eventually get it right if he keeps predicting each of the schools left on his list. He'll eventually get to the right one. So it looks like Texas A&M. Woodruff running back Aiden Gibson reset his commitment date for May 12th. He's down to USC, North Carolina, Rutgers, Penn State, and Louisville. It looks like Rutgers, Penn State might be the top two. Receiver Ivion Lewis of Richmond moved his commitment announcement up to May 9th from July 1st. His finalists the same USC, Georgia, Maryland, Kentucky, and Virginia Tech. Clemson offered offensive lineman Luke Starcevich, 6'5", 260, out of Kindred, North Dakota. He was in for a visit over the weekend. He was first-team All-State last season, 62 pancake blocks. No plumber. He did not eat 62 pancakes for breakfast. He had 62 pancake blocks. I know you once ate 45 pancakes for breakfast.
It was 43, Phil. 43 pancakes only.
He also had 48 tackles on defense with 15.5 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks. He also caught 29 passes for 544 yards and 5 touchdowns as a tight end. He also recently visited Kansas State. Some of the other offers are Oregon, Purdue, Penn State, Notre Dame, Michigan, Texas Tech, UCF, Stanford, Vandy, Auburn, Oklahoma, Missouri, Iowa, and Michigan State. Clemson and Kansas State and Notre Dame look like the three strongest with him right now. More to come after the break.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We're cooling down this evening. 55 is the low. Tomorrow, very similar to what we've had today. Look for sunshine, the high topping out at 83. On Wednesday, we cloud up. Thursday looks like our best chance for some showers, a 70% opportunity. We get rain. Looking way ahead, weekend temperatures right around 80 degrees. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at PalmettoStateArmory.com or your local retail store. Palmetto State Armory, American-made for life.
People were in. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. military says it fired on Iranian forces and sank 6 small boats targeting civilian ships as it moved to reopen the Strait of Hormuz on Monday. The United Arab Emirates, a key American ally, said it had come under attack from Iran for the first time since a fragile ceasefire took hold in early April. The U.S. military said 2 American-flagged merchant ships had successfully transited the strait on Monday as part of a new initiative. Oklahoma police have made no arrests and are seeking suspects in connection with a mass shooting at a weekend party beside a lake. Authorities say at least 23 people were injured in the shooting Sunday night at Arcadia Lake, just north of Oklahoma City. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 557 points. More details at srnnews.com.
When your pipes panic, Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning steps right in, fast and friendly. Josh and his team aren't just fixing leaks, they're restoring your peace of mind. This is when you're at your most vulnerable. You got a problem, you need a solution. They're not coming out to upsell you or talk you into something new this or new that. You'll appreciate their process. They'll tell you what needs to get done and what it'll cost before they ever even bring in their tools to start the work. They're locally owned, which unfortunately is no longer the norm in the Midlands. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning will treat every home like their own. They've done work for me, for my brother, countless numbers of Point listeners. Dial 799-2222 or visit franklinplumbing.sc.com and you tell them Kev from The Point sent you. You will experience plumbing that's more than just a fix. It's a solution from people who care about their work and stand by it. When you need them, please don't panic. Just call Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning, 799-2222.
Spring is the perfect time to make sure your home stays comfortable. For over 12 years, Sweet Comfort Services has been proud to serve Columbia as the best small family-owned heating and air company in the area. Whether you need repairs, a new installation, or preventative maintenance, our trusted team has you covered. We install dependable systems from Goodman and Trane, and if you have a quote from any licensed HVAC company, we'll match or beat their price. Call 803-331-8143 or visit sweethvac.com. Sweet Comfort Services, keeping Columbia comfortable.
At Team One Sudduth Automotive on Millwood Avenue, we make caring for your car effortless, day or night. Enjoy our easy drop-off even after business hours. From oil changes to full engine overhauls, our certified technicians handle it all the right way with a 2-year, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty. Plus, it's easy to book an appointment. Go online right now, team1automotive.com. You can pick the time that fits your schedule best. Team One Sudduth Automotive, where reliable, transparent service meets your convenience.
The original Pancake House in Trenham Plaza on Forest Drive prepares fresh-made pancake and crepe batters every morning. These are an assembly line pancakes. They're incredible. You got to try those apple pancakes or a Dutch baby. Is this breakfast or dessert? We serve only quality meats, thick bacon with freshly squeezed oranges. Great tasting coffee. We start serving every morning at 6:30. Taste what fresh is all about at the original Pancake House. Forest Drive in Trenham Plaza. Our menus online. OPHColumbiaSC.com.
If you've never had genuine Wagyu or Hereford steaks and burgers, you don't know what you're missing. Time to order the best of the best from HandJCattle.com. These are local farmers in Saluda where tradition meets quality. The best quality beef and a discount for Point listeners. Enter keyword The Point as one word and get 10% off, plus free delivery in Lexington and Richland County orders of $50 or more. It's cooked in season over at HandJCattle.com.
And we're back. Scott Hamilton coming up momentarily. I had more recruiting to do, so let's do it. Picking back up on Clemson, Tigers offered defensive end Chaz Gray, 6'4", 245, Union, New Jersey. Also has a USC offer and visited last month. He also made spring stops at Georgia Tech and Ohio State. Some other offers are North Carolina, Tennessee, Boston College, Washington, Duke, Texas A&M, Nebraska, Penn State, and Georgia. Clemson offered cornerback Nash Johnson, 6'1", 175, Powder Springs, Georgia. He's a former Alabama commitment. He was in on Sunday. He has officials with Auburn, Miami, and Tennessee. Defensive end Andrew Rogers, 6'6", 240 of Greensboro, North Carolina, said an official to Clemson on June 12th. He also visited Clemson in March. USC also offered him a while back, and he visited for a game last season and for a spring practice. He also has offers from Kentucky, Wake Forest, Tennessee, Georgia, Louisville, Auburn, Georgia Tech, LSU, Virginia Tech, and those are the offers. Clemson invited offensive lineman Aiden Engelbrett, 6'2", 305 of Newport Richey, Florida, to work out for the coaches at one of the June camps. Clemson target defensive end Santana Harvey of Lakeland, Florida, set an official visit with Kentucky June 12th. He's got Clemson May 29th, Florida State June 5th, Georgia Tech June 9th, Notre Dame June 19th. He plans to commit between July 4th and July 11th. Clemson defensive ends coach Chris Rumph visited him last week. Clemson receivers coach Tyler Grisham paid a visit to wide receiver Braden Wessinger, 6'3", 180 of Jacksonville over the weekend. In his career, he has 85 catches, 1,511 yards, and 19 touchdowns. Place kicker Leif Hansen of Canton, Georgia. If I have another son, I'm going to name him Leif.
That's a cool name.
Place kicker Leif. Isn't there an actor named Leif?
There was back in the 80s, I think.
If I had twin boys, I would name one Leaf. I would name the other one Relief.
That's better than the route I thought you were going to take. Tree and Leaf.
Tree and Leaf?
Well done.
Yeah. No, Leaf and Relief. Anyway, place kicker Leif Hansen of Canton, Georgia, was at Clemson last Friday. Last season, he was 10 of 12 on field goals with a long of 49, 64 of 66 point afters. He has an offer from Navy. This spring, he's also visited Georgia, Georgia Tech, Boston College, Princeton, and Yale. 2028 quarterback Kingston Preyer 6'3", 195. Alexander City, Alabama has Clemson in his top 6, along with Vandy, Florida, Notre Dame, Alabama, Auburn. South Carolina offered 2028 receiver Malachi Lee of Chantilly, Virginia, and 2028 safety Giovanni Tuggle of Winder, Georgia. 2028 offensive tackle Ty Wynn of Philadelphia will visit South Carolina for their junior day May 17th, and he has a visit to Texas 2 weeks later. West Side wide receiver Tajay Watson was offered by Maryland. 2028 defensive end Christian Webb Scott of West Side was offered by LSU. Boy, how talented is West Side, starting with their quarterback, Bear Wood. I mean, they were already loaded at quarterback, a guy that's getting all kind of attention. 2029 defensive lineman Emavian Gibson of Dorman, he's 6'2", 260, was offered by Charlotte. Basketball, 6'1", Kobe Edwards of Wilson, North Carolina, committed to the College of Charleston. He had signed with Elon last fall, but got his release. And one-time Clemson and Furman forward 6'7", Asa Thomas signed with Illinois Chicago. He's a native of the Chicago suburbs. And former South Carolina guard Cam Scott has signed with Temple. Temple for Cam Scott.
Really?
Yes. So think about this, and this is by no means, I'm not taking a shot at the young man, because he was a great high school player. He was. You don't score all those points in 5A high school basketball in South Carolina unless you're a great player. He was a great player in high school. And the only time we have talked about him, really, the only times we've mentioned his name since high school is when he's done something with his location, like he committed to Texas. We talked about it then. That he decommitted from Texas. We talked about it then. He committed to South Carolina and signed with South Carolina. We talked about it then. He then entered the transfer portal, John, while at South Carolina. We talked about it then. Then he took himself out of the portal, John, went back to South Carolina. We talked about it then. And then he put himself back in the portal, John, at South Carolina, and now he's going to Temple, and we're talking about him again. Again, it would just, be nice if the young man could go do something on the hardwood to be talked about.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that the only thing you talk about him is moving here, moving there. Maybe he'll find happiness in South Philly.
Yeah, but I don't know that it's going to be happiness in terms of translating success. I mean, it's not like he's going from South Carolina to Michigan. Temple was a 500 team at best this past year, unless they've made a major splash in the transfer portal in addition to Cam Scott, which I haven't seen. I don't know how much better they're going to be this upcoming year.
I wonder how much
matter anymore.
I wonder how much Dawn Staley might have played a role in this.
Interesting question, yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's coached there, of course, and from South Philly, and she might have gotten with him and said, hey, you know what, here's a great place for you to go where you can grow and you can find yourself and you can have a great experience and you can, maybe expand your game and get back to where you were to some degree in high school. Okay, there you go. That is the recruiting report tonight here on Sports Talk. It is brought to you by Seawells. Okay, after the break, it'll be time to get some final thoughts on this Monday night from Scott Hamilton, longtime columnist, longtime sports reporter. Spent a lot of time covering the PGA Tour, so he's got a ton of experience and a ton of opinions and a ton of insights. We'll tap into that when we come back.
I'm attorney Jim Corbett. I'm not a case manager. I'm a lawyer for over 35 years. I don't charge 40% for your injury in your wreck case or any on-the-job injury. Call 803-765-2968 and ask for Jim Corbett or email me, jim@jimcorbettattorney.com, for the experience of a lawyer handling your injury case. Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968. Jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. Put 35 years of experience to work on your injury case.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot, and the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. In fact, the lottery has raised more than $200 million for state school buses to get our students to school safely every day. Then, the lottery helps those students go even further in their education by funding the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. So remember, when you play the lottery, you're keeping South Carolina students on the road to success. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Okay, let's spend a few minutes on this manic Monday night, wrapping things up. Some final thoughts from Scott Hamilton, veteran sports reporter, columnist, living in our state, used to live in the north state of North Carolina. We like him here in South Carolina. Welcome in, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I did live there. I forget about it sometimes, believe it or not.
How many years you live in the Tar Heel State?
Oh. Well, I was on Hilton Head. Then I moved to North Carolina, and I was there for about 8. Then back to Hilton Head. Then back to North Carolina for about 15 total, I guess.
Okay. Well, let's talk about a few things that we want to get your thoughts on. A little bit here, a little bit there. Let's begin with the Derby. Did you watch the Derby? What did you think of the Derby?
Of course, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I'm not a big, I'm about as much of a horse racing aficionado as anybody. We watch the tentpole races, the Triple Crown races.
Yeah.
But how can you not come away from that just so fascinated by the sport and the culture and everything surrounding it? And it was so historical. Sherry DeVoe became the first female trainer to have a horse win the Derby, and Jose Ortiz beating his brother. And it was his 11th Derby. And he finally won it. But, man, that was to go from last to first after the final turn. And Phil, that's a dangerous sport.
Yes.
Okay? It's dangerous. So he came around the turn, and he said, okay, it's go time. All gas, no brakes. First of all, it's courageous as all get out. But if you're going to be in it to win it, you got to do it. But I used the word surgical with how he weaved and bobbed and made his way through traffic. And it's getting violent at that point in the race. It's got to be one of the great finishes, not only for horse, but for jockey in the history of the race. I just thought it was marvelous.
Yeah, it really was. And, you talk about dangerous. You had one rider being thrown before they even got in the starting gate. That was scary and dangerous. Those are incredible animals, as we all know. We all seen horses of all types. We're talking thoroughbreds, and those things are they are a little bit skittish when they go into these races, and you got 150,000 people yelling at you, and they push you into this starting gate, and there's a reason that they want the starting whistle, whatever they call it, to go fast once they get those studs into the starting gate.
And I've been to 7 Kentucky Derbies. And the last 3 I've been to, I've had marvelous seats, front row on the finish line, through a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there in 2008 when Big Brown won. And it come to find out that Big Brown was, using performance enhancers and some other stuff. But when Big Brown went by me, I said, there's something not right about that horse. It was unbelievable how big it was. But then we had Great White, the horse you're talking about. And to put it into perspective, Big Brown was 5'5", basically, from ground to, I think they measure at the top of the back. Great White was 5'10". It's just, I've never seen a horse that big in my life. It's like a Trojan horse, just people hiding in it.
Very lucky for the jockey that he wasn't injured, that he was able to fall off to the side, because the horse did a complete flop to the ground. If that horse lands on him, he's dead.
Yeah, I thought that too. And, you know, that's instinct and years of training. And, you know, I wonder, do they take courses on how to roll, how to properly, you know, like the stuntman is taught how to roll with a punch or roll out of a car. I wonder if they're trained in how to roll off a horse.
Good point. Good thing is the horse wasn't injured, the jockey wasn't injured, and it was a fabulous race. I tell you what was amazing to me. I think you retweeted it, and I retweeted your retweet. Is the announcer? I guess is he the announcer for Churchill Downs, who was calling the race, or was he calling the race for local television? I don't think it was the NBC guy. Maybe I'm wrong, but watching this guy call the race with binoculars and never looking down, I don't think, to put a name to a number. And the way he identified each horse by name and called where they were as they ran around the track, that's an amazing piece of sportscasting. If you're a sportscaster, in Berger, you need to, if you haven't seen it, you need to take a look at it.
I watched the race.
It's a phenomenal. Well, no, this is the guy inside the track calling the race. Who was that, Scott? Exactly.
I don't know. Larry Kalmus, maybe. Larry Kalmus. Larry Kalmus did his 16th race, but whoever this gentleman was, to your point, the only time he looked down for him was he had like around his neck I don't even know how to describe it, but it was like almost like an easel.
Yeah.
Hanging from his neck, and he had all the horses, and he would casually just every now and then glance down without stopping talking, and without it seeming like taking his eyes off the track. I mean, I've never had any desire to do play-by-play. I've never, because it's too much work. It's so hard. It's so hard. But I can't imagine horse racing. And God bless the people that do it, because I don't think they give them credit. It's like being an auctioneer. It's like an auctioneer meets Bob Costas, or an auctioneer meets Keith Jackson. That's probably a good one.
Bergie, do you think Bergie, you're great. Bergie is, he's the play-by-play announcer for Coastal football and basketball. And
well, thank you.
You do you do a great job. And Bergie, he never mispronounces a name. He gets these guys' names down. But do you think you could memorize 20 horses' names with their numbers and never look at a roster and call them out at full speed?
No, it's very difficult to do. And as Scott pointed out, he's very talented to be able to do that, because it's like hockey announcers. I've always marveled at hockey announcers because they're in the same boat. They're coming over the boards and into the game while it's still in progress. It's one thing, I have the luxury of football, play stops. You get substitutions, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with basketball, but not hockey, and certainly horse racing. I thought they always do a fabulous job, but trying to learn 19 horses' names and numbers to go along with the jockeys. And
that's right.
It's just, very, very difficult.
Well, now you do have a whole week, or more than a week, really. You know who's in it, so you can prepare, but you only get one shot at it. It's 2 minutes. You can't miss a beat. It's not like, you're watching the ebb and flow of a football game. You got 4 quarters, or basketball, you got 2 halves. You screw up a name, you screw up a name. It's gone. You don't have time to go back and correct yourself, because you're already to the next thing.
And you're on the replay forever, too.
Yeah. Do you think the Kentucky Derby, let me throw this at you. Do you think different things here, different scenarios. Do you think the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, do you think it's the Kentucky Derby, or do you think it's the 2-minute warning and what happens after the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter of, say, a Super Bowl that's a 1 touchdown or less game, or, say, the final 2 minutes of a NBA or college basketball game in the fourth quarter with the game going down to the wire? What would you hang your hat on as the most exciting 2 minutes in sports?
The bottom of the ninth, and the last hole of the Ryder Cup. You know what? That's a tough comparison. I mean, it depends on the teams and the game and all that. I mean, the Derby is a one shot. It's kind of its own Super Bowl, even though it's part of a playoff, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think there's more action in those 2 minutes, you could argue, because there's no timeouts, there's no going out of bounds, there's no incomplete pass. That's a damn good question. I'm going to hit me back on that one next week.
Well, I think you make a good point. I mean, once they come out of the gates, barring an injury or something, they're gone. There's no stopping them, and they're running for those 2 minutes and plus seconds to get to the what they call it. They don't call it the checkered flag. I guess the finish line.
The finish line, yeah. But it's almost like a whole season. I mean,
yeah.
Those 2 minutes is these guys train for that one moment. And, they get scratched, they lost it. And if you want to win the ultimate prize, the Triple Crown, you've got to be perfect in all three. And I've only seen one in my lifetime that I remember. I mean, I don't remember Secretariat. I think I was one. And what was the one in 78? Who won it? Affirmed?
Will you follow the rest of the Triple Crown races?
Sure we will, because this is the only time we'll pay attention, and quite candidly, it's the only time that horse racing does a good job of propping itself up, because we're going to hear about Golden Tempo up until the next race. Now, if Golden Tempo doesn't win, then all bets are off. But if Golden Tempo does win, then horse racing will do a good job again of setting up for a possible Triple Crown. The thing that irks me is that horse racing is a lot like soccer in that it's never done a good job of marketing these big moments. We keep saying, like the 99 U.S. Women's Cup. Oh, this is it. This is what's going to make soccer a household thing, yada, yada. Great for women's soccer, yada, yada, yada. But they missed the opportunity. They failed to leverage it. Horse racing is no better off today than it was 11 years ago when American Pharoah won. None. And that's who do we blame that on? I think anybody with a vested interest in the sport is blamed for it. I think it's the track owners, the horse owners, the jockeys. I think it's the people that run horse racing, and I think it's the networks. Because, Phil, horse racing is more than 3 races. It's year round. During the pandemic, I'm at a place, a bar that I shall not name because we were breaking COVID protocols. But we had no sports, but we were sitting there betting at the bar on horses. People, whatever change you had in your pocket. Well, I'll bet a nickel on this. We're here. I got a dime. All right, we're betting on horses at Aqueduct or wherever. And there were no crowds there. And it's just a shame, Phil. But before we were born, horse racing was one of the great sports. Boxing, horse racing, and baseball.
Yep. All right, before we let you go, don't know if you saw this. This might be breaking news to you, or you might know it, but SEC is going to implement the ABS system at the SEC baseball tournament, just like they have now in Major League Baseball. You like it for college baseball?
I do. I love college baseball is so much better now. I couldn't stand it for so long. I'll just tell you, I could not stand it. But I watch it now, and they've got the flow of the game down. The pitch clock is wonderful. Everything is good. I'm for it. But my problem is this. Will it end up biting them in the rear end the way it kind of has in major leagues or wherever they've used this because of the replays? Don't they have replays now?
Mm-hmm. Of course they do.
But isn't it kind of redundant then? If they're doing it for pace of play, or are they doing it to clean up the game? Which is it? I get mixed messaging from both sides.
Well, now, the ABS system we're talking about here is the balls and strike calls.
Right. And don't they still have replays for that?
They do have, they're just starting it now for the SEC in the tournament. They do have replay for plays in the field, but they up until now, they haven't had a ball and strike replay in college baseball. I'm correct on that, right, Bergie?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is the first because Major League Baseball has had moderate success with it so far, so the SEC figured it'd give it a shot.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the last time I watched a Major League Baseball game. And it used to be I would watch the major leagues, but not college. And it's totally flipped now. I love college baseball. I love it.
Before we let you go, tell folks about your new endeavor on YouTube.
We got it's called Backport Sports. Paul Feinbaum connected me with a man named Ronnie Sanders, and we've got it's a radio show. It's on in Memphis on Saturdays, but you can get it on YouTube. It's pretty good. We like it. Little SEC podcast. We had we had Houston Met on last week. We had Clark Lee on the week before. We got John Sumrall on this week. He's joining us and talk about Florida football and just the SEC lifestyle. That's what it's about, the lifestyle, Phil.
Yeah. What time does it air?
It airs at 11 o'clock Eastern time in Memphis, and it posts. It's pre-recorded, so we do it. We drop it right around that same time.
Outstanding. We'll look for that. We tell everybody to look for it. What's the name again? Backyard, back porch? What is it?
Well, it's Back Porch Sports, but you can watch it out in your backyard. So that'd be fine, too.
And bet on horses. You can bet on the horses while you're watching them.
Or like Josh said, he asked me if I'd ridden any horses, and like I'm a jockey. So.
Yeah. That's the humor of the plumber. You got to understand the humor of the plumber. The humorless plumber.
I like him.
Scott, enjoyed it, my man. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.
All righty, buddy. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
All right. The thoughts of Scott Hamilton. Great stuff from him. Thank you, Bergie.
Yes, sir. Enjoyed it.
See you tomorrow night over at Coastal. Thank you,
Look
Plumber.
forward to it.
Thank you, everybody, for being with us. Check us out tomorrow night from Coastal Carolina. Should be a good game. We'll see you then.